Nancy Enyotu, and I will be the facilitator for today. So please, can we start sharing our screen? So our program is called the TECLA series, and through the journey of our Farmalert ECHO, we've had the MDoc, Goringa Ibrahim, Making More Health, and Ashoka join us through the journey to make sure we get to the point where we are today. And on our agenda today, we have the introduction, a brief about Farmalert by Dr. Kayode Femi, a brief about Project TECLA by MDoc, a pre-quiz by all participants, and our didactic presentation by the Veterinary Council President, AIG Aishatu Abubakar Baju. And also on that, we have the open discussion for all participants, our expert recommendation by the top experts, and the post-quiz, which will be done by all the participants today. And after that, we'll give our announcements and also the next step on our program. So on our ECHO program, we leverage on 4 ECHO pillars, which is one, using the video conference technology to leverage scarce health care resources, the specialists sharing best practices with colleagues, best case-based learning, and also the continuous monitoring of program outcomes. Next slide. So Project TECLA Africa leverages on the ECHO model. We collect registration, participation, questions and answers, chat comments, and poll responses for our program. But your individual data will be kept confidential and handled by authorized personnel. This data may be used for reports, maps, communication, surveillance, quality assurance, evaluation research, and to inform new initiatives. This session is being recorded, and we will be sharing the PDF version of this after the session. Please do be reminded that whatever we share with you is confidential and shouldn't be shared with people who don't have it. So participants, please make our interaction more exciting and interesting. We would advise that you keep your cameras on. The facilitator will unmute when there is a need for you to speak. And if you are not unmuted, you can also use the raise hand function whenever you want to speak, or drop a message on the chat box, and we will have a team member extract the questions and comments from the chat box. So after that, now we'll have to invite the founder of Farmalert, Dr. Kayode Femi, to give us a brief about Farmalert in just 2 minutes.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nancy, for a good job. So a brief about Farmalert. Our big goal in Farmalert is to see how we can enable easier access to affordable animal health care. We're starting in Nigeria. We hope in some couple of months, we should scale into other African countries, and of course, be the leader in building this very robust animal health system in Africa. The goal for ECHO is simple: to democratize knowledge, right? The person we have today is somebody we all admire in the veterinary sector as a leader par excellence. So our goal for ECHO meetings like this is to see how experts like her can come in and share her knowledge with the entire veterinary community or para-veterinary community, or even the livestock community as a whole. If we're able to achieve that, then we can automatically ensure that everybody gets better in their own way. Ultimately, we can strengthen the animal health sector. I'm very excited about today, and I look forward to a very wonderful meeting being chaired by the Assistant Inspector General of Police, also doubling as the President of the Veterinary Council in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Dr. Nancy, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adifemi, for that wonderful brief. So the next on our agenda is a brief about Project Tekla by MDoc. MDoc, please, over to you. So if they are not on the call, we'll just move over to the next agenda. So we'll have a pre-quiz now, and you are encouraged to join in on the pre-quiz as it is a means for us to actually know your ideas about the topic and also know what you would think about the same questions after the session. So please, you are advised to join in. Just join in. I will be checking the polls to see how far we've gone with the questions. Thank you. The poll is open now. Please to take the quiz. Please, you are encouraged to join in. Nobody's going to mark the questions or the answers, rather. You are just encouraged to do it so that we will have an interactive session. Please do join in and answer the questions, and let's see what you think about what is going to be discussed today. Okay, we have 2% of the participants already answering. We have 4%. Please, we can do better. We have 5%. We can do better than that. We have 7% now. We have 10% of the participants who do that already. We have 15% of the participants now at 18, 20. That's good. Thank you. 24%. And now we are at 25%. Good job. We can do better. 31% of the participants. 33, 37. Wow. 39% of the participants. Now at 40, 42. Please continue. Can do better than 42%. We can have more than that. 44%. That's good. Let's keep doing that. We still have enough time to answer that before the poll is closed for the day and move on to the next agenda. We have 48% now. We have 50% of the participants. That is nice. Thank you. We have 54% of the participants. We have 4% of the participants. Please continue to answer the questions so that our poll percentage will be increased. Thank you. We have 56% of the participants answering. Thank you. We have 58%, and the poll will be closed in the next 8 seconds. We have 58% answering the questions. Thank you for your ideas. We have 60% of the participants. That is a good one. We can do better. So the poll will be closed in the next 10 seconds. So we are going to end the poll now. And we'll move on to the next agenda. So we are done with the pre-quiz. Please can we check the next slide? So now we'll be introducing the hub experts for today. And I know everyone is excited to have her on this program today. And our hub expert for today is no other person than the president of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, the first female president of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, the first female monitor general of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in 44 years, first gender advisor to the Inspector General of Police, most senior female police officer, Assistant Inspector General of Police, and officer in charge of the Force and Income Branch, National Productivity Order of Merit Award winner UNESCO L'Oreal Fellowship Award for Women in Sciences. A very beautiful CV, I must say. And today she will be the one taking us on the topic, veterinary resilience, leading to crisis. And I must say that I am particularly interested in this topic because today I am seated here because Farmalert chose me during their Outliers Award, and it's a beautiful thing to hear from a leader who has done so much to show that women can also lead and lead well in their field, in their chosen field. So today I present to you AIG Aishatu Abubakar Baju. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us today. So you will have the field to talk to us all now as we listen and learn. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Dr. Nancy. Before AIG comes up, just to add a few voice to what you've said, they are leaders and they are leaders, right? The Assistant Inspector General of Police has been an inspiration to almost all of us. I call her my mother, and I know to you, Dr. Nancy, she's your grandmother or great-grandmother, but she, her leadership prowess has actually made a way for what we have in the veterinary profession today. So it's with this singular honor, I present to every one of us the Assistant Inspector General of Police, first female president of the Veterinary Council, more importantly, to the new cap feather she just added, the first Monitor General in 44 years, breaking the jinx, right? AIG Aishatu Abubakar. Madam President, good afternoon, ma. I know you've been very busy.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I know you've been very busy that you have to take excuse out of your meeting to be with us, and we can't take this very lightly. Thank you so much. You will have another 15 minutes to make a presentation to just share with us what you think around what veterinary resilience is all about and how you've been able to achieve these very important feats that you've achieved. And then we will start throwing you questions. A lot of us on this call wants to learn from your leadership. We want to learn from your wisdom. We want to also be like you when we grow up. So there will be another 30 minutes to 40 minutes of question and answer being thrown at you. Ultimately, you will help us wrap up the most important lesson from these ECHO meetings, and then we'll call it a wrap. Thank you very much. You have the stage, Madam President.
Hello, Femi. Just give me a minute. I will settle down now. Just a minute, please.
All right. You know, I was actually slightly very concerned.
So today on the topic, please can we see the next slide? Well, so she will be taking us through her what leadership is, her own leadership story, how she overcame the obstacles, or how to overcome obstacles during leadership. And then she would also be advising the younger veterinarians and also the older colleagues. So I think we should just keep pondering on the topics we are going to be hearing from her so that we'll have a very interactive session as we wait for her.
IT support, okay, good. Good to have you back, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Femi. Thank
Fantastic.
you for having me. It's a great privilege for me to be here this afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, Femi.
So you have the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes before the interactive question and answer to just share 4 things. First, what you think is leadership, what your leadership story is, how you overcome obstacles, more importantly, what leadership advice you will have to us, after which we will now start asking you questions. So you have the next 15 minutes, Madam President, and good to have you.
Thank you so much, Femi, for having me. I can tell you that you are doing something that we're all very proud of you. You have done so much, you have impacted so much in the veterinary profession, and I can see the sky is just the beginning for you. For this program, I know you've been running a lot of other programs to make sure that you impact on the entire veterinary community, both within the general, across board, young or old. I can trade this opportunity to come aboard today to have a chat about leadership. For me, leadership is just the ability to influence, motivate, and direct in order to attain desired objectives. What do I mean by influence? Because if, as a leader, if you don't have that ability to influence people, to be able to willingly follow you on your guidance and adherence, so that you'll be able to reach that destination that you want to reach. So that is what leadership is all about. And then you should be able to also motivate the people, your own people, because without that motivation, giving them as a leader, I don't think you will do much. And you should be able to direct them in the right direction in order to attain those desired objectives of that particular organization. Like, for instance, as the president of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, when we came on board, you can recall that what we did as a leader is for you to also be able to listen to the people, so that it gives you the opportunity to map out where you want to go. You can't just start, and that was why when we came on board, mapping out means listening to your people. It's not about taking people to where you want them to be. I keep saying it, but it's about taking people to where they want to be. The veterinarians know where exactly they want to be. They want to see the veterinary profession. So as a leader, you should be able to work with them, to be able to influence and motivate them, so that you can map out where you want to go. And so that you need to go and win as a team, not just you, because it's not about you winning, but it's about the entire team winning. So you should be able, when you are able to influence, they willingly follow you, you map out on where you want to go, and then you now need to win as a team. And you should be able to use management skills. For a leader, you need to have management skills to guide your people to the right destination. And you make a statement about who you are as a person and how you bring your unique qualities, because as a leader, you must have those unique qualities that makes you a good leader. And then for those qualities that that makes that qualities that you need into your leadership purpose. And then you have to be a visionary leader, because for a leader, you must have a vision. If you don't have a vision, as a leader, you must have, apart from the vision, you must have integrity. Very important, because if and then be able to inspire your people. And then most importantly, no matter how much you have all those qualities, you must be able to delegate, so that among your team, you find out those with different skills, different potentials, deploy them so that you'll be able to achieve those objectives of an organization. So your ability to delegate is also another quality of a good leader. Then as a leader, also you have to be strategic and critical in your thinking, because strategic thinking is important for leadership qualities. And then the next thing is that you should be able to communicate with your people, because if they don't understand you as their leader, they don't understand where you are coming from, where you're going, or those things that you think should be able to move you forward. If you are not communicating, and that's why, you know, Femi, as the publicity chairman, publicity and ICT for the council, I keep telling you, if we don't communicate to the veterinary community, they will not understand what we're doing. And it goes, yes, before us, there are a lot of things have been achieved before us, but sometimes it has to do with the communication. If you do not communicate to your people, then that they understand where you're going, then at the end, everything you do is in vain because they don't understand you. You have not communicated. So those are some of the attributes of a good leader. And then there's also the issue of self-awareness. You should have that. And empathy as leader, because it's not about being sympathetic, but having empathy. You should be able to put yourself in the position of those members of your community, of the people you are leading, that you have empathy for them. You know how they feel. You know that you put yourself in their position. So that makes you, so they know that whatever position you see your members are in, you know that you also have that empathy and you put yourself in that position so that it will be able to make a very good decision, critical decisions that should be able to make your members know that you have empathy for them. And most importantly, as a leader, if you do not have confidence, you see, there are some leaders, when they pass, you don't even know that they are leaders. That confidence you have, it now builds also confidence in your followers. Because if you have a leader that does not have confidence, it deflects the members of your team. So that confidence that you have now shows you that, of course, the people that are following, that you have a leader with confidence. So of course they can do anything. That of course they have a leader that will be able to be pushful and stand with them in whatever time like they find themselves. And that leader with resilience. This year, thank God that the theme for there is the veterinary resilience. So we should be able to build that community with the resilience. And the leader should also be optimistic. A good leader should be optimistic. Do not, because if you are pessimistic, then you don't that confidence, you lose confidence of your followers because each time something is going, you feel, oh, is it going to happen? No, I don't think it can happen. Is it going to happen? Like now we're fighting quacks. A lot of people didn't believe that we would do. What we will do? We are coming out with a lot of things. And what are those things that should be able to, we will now say, okay, we just released, was it 2 days ago, Femi, you released the fact that the Veterinary Council has approved the use of veterinary seal. And that is, we now say, okay, whatever signature, it should be supported by the seal of the veterinarian. It is going to carry your name, it's going to carry your VCN number, and so on and so forth. So those are some of as a leader, there are some people that will not believe that those things are achievable, and that we are going to have a unified ID card license. It looks like a driver's license. It has its microchip. It has a QR number, a QR code that you can screen and say, oh, this is a correct vet. And so those issues that the leader believes that is achievable, being optimistic is very important for it. Then ability to make that difficult decisions. As a leader, you should be able to make those difficult decisions, even no matter there are certain times when those difficult times come. You don't just wait and say, oh, okay, I have to, no, I can't do this at this time. No. You should be able to stand firm and take those difficult decisions, even when, and then communicate effectively later, so that your members will be able to understand why you took those steps. That it is in the interest, as long as it is in the interest of that partition, then that makes you a leader. Then, most importantly, a leader must be approachable. your members should be able to approach you. Like I keep telling people, my line is 24 hours. And you can actually reach me at any time. I remember during the time of the pandemic, during the total lockdown, sometimes at 2 a.m., I have people calling me, or a driver of a truck carrying animal feed will be able to call me. And now, even if I'm sleeping, I know that it's a distress call. Maybe by virtue of my training as a police officer, I can be called at any time. But those are the issues that they are your members, because there are times we have colleagues that are in trouble, and they call me one dial, except if I don't pick my call, except if I'm not there. So you should be able to be approachable as a leader, that your members can reach out to you, they can approach you with anything, even when they feel it's a stupid thing. You should be able to say, yes, we are in it together. So, and then most importantly, has to be humility. As a leader, you have to be humble. You have to be humble to be able to to be able to achieve all these things. And you should not allow yourself as a leader to be distracted. Because a friend of mine, I always like quoting him, Professor Prince S.J. Samuel, he says that the most powerful force against success is distraction. So don't allow yourself to be distracted, because when you have a set goals and objectives, the thing that will not be able to allow you achieve your aims and objectives is distraction. And there are people that like doing that. They like distracting you so that you lose focus. So you need to be focused and make sure that you shake off those distractors so that you are able to achieve success. I think, well, my leadership story, I might not be able to assess myself. Maybe I would allow veterinarians and my colleagues out there to assess whether those attributes of a good leader, maybe I possess some of them or not, but I think I try as much as possible to achieve those. And as I said, obstacles is part of life. It's part of life. And as a leader, you must be able to prepare yourself very adequately for those obstacles. And that is why you need all those skills, influence of that confidence, and so on and so forth, and optimism. You are optimistic, so that you'll be able to jump all those obstacles, because they will always come, and distractors will always come. So if you are not prepared as a leader, then you fall into those traps. And for young veterinarians, I always, for those that have interacted with me one way or the other, I keep telling them there is no shortcut in life. There is no shortcut in life. When you see even the structure of the civil service, it is in such a way that by the time you reach level 17 or a permanent secretary, or you reach certain stage, you must have achieved a certain number of years. That's why they say 35 years in service or 60 years of age. There is no way you can reach certain level in life as maybe a director, for instance, and you are just 25 years old. You know that you have jumped, and it is going to be very glaring for at the end, at the point you reach, because you have just stepped. Every step in life is meant for you to attend, to learn something. To learn something. It is not for a joke. And even when it comes to schooling, I keep telling people, I have friends that want to jump. Oh, my daughter didn't do primary 2. They just jumped to primary 4. They just, you see, it's not about intelligence alone. It is about maturity at each stage that you meet. You allow a child to grow, and he or she is in a class that are adults that are thinking above her. It's not the intelligence alone. So for young veterinarians, I want to say, please take one step at a time. When you see Aisha as an Assistant Inspector General of Police, and you see her as now in NIPS being the Monitor General, and you see her as AIG First Animal Branch, and you see her, it did not start in a day. It did not happen in a day. As I've just seen my big brother, our former president, Dr. Ibe, join us. I was about to start talking. They know me when I was wearing two stars as an ASP. So it's a long journey. It's you take one step at a time, and before we grew to the rank of that AIG, from ASP to DSP, DSP to SP, SP to CSP, up and down until we reach AIG. It did not say from ASP you just go and become a commissioner of police. When you become, there are so many things that will be so glaring. The same thing we have CVON. The CVON, if you look at track record, she has been through a lot of stages to become where she is. It is not in a day. And I remember when I came as a copper here as a doctor, yes, I was doing my NYSC. We used to ride on Okada from area 1 from Ganchivile to area 1. We climb Okada, we go on taxis. So there was a time that I was also working. And then now I'm also driving a Jeep. So life is about steps. And each step allows you to develop and prepare yourself for the next stage in life. Do not be in a hurry. Otherwise, I tell you, by the time you reach that top, it is going to look, you are going to be so inadequate, and it is going to show. Because those gaps, those stages that you have jumped in life, you're thinking that you are smart. Yes, of course, there are some very smart people. But smartness is also different from maturity and learning different stages of life. So take one step at a time, and you reach the destination in good time and be. With our prayers, I keep saying that our prayers, for me, I always say that my prayer for young veterinarians is that may you be greater than us. I want you to be greater than wherever you think I've achieved. Please, may you be greater than us when you reach where we are. That is our prayers for you. Thank you, except if you have any questions.
Madam President, I feel like the most lucky person on this call, because not only that I'm listening to you, I've been personally mentored by you. And I owe a lot of my confidence, a lot of the success that we have as a small team to your direct leadership and your influence in what we do. One of the reasons why in Farmalert we try to be very robust is because we know that the technical parts are good, we try to promote it, but the whole leadership lessons that you've just reeled out are also very important. I'll give us a quick example and then I'll ask a few questions, then I'll open up the room. I went to the house of a veterinarian, I think the chief executive of First Bank. And you know, while you were reeling out those points, the same quality I see in you, I work on a daily basis, is the same quality I also saw in him. So you could be a vet or you could be a superstar vet. And one of the reasons for this meeting is to share your knowledge across all boards. And I love the last prayer you made, that you want to see us all succeed beyond you. And I want to say a very big amen to that. So the first question, Madam President, I want to ask, I will be asking you 3 questions, and then I will allow interactions for others to ask questions, to say a few things, and we will be it. But before I ask my question, I want to just quickly recognize the presence of Dr. Charles Ibe, former NVMA president, and an elder statesman in the veterinary profession, a leader also. He's here. Dr. Ado Ibrahim Shehu, who is the immediate past president of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, is also here. We have members of the council, Veterinary Council Board. Dr. Kwajafa is here, a very strong stakeholder in the industry. Professor Ola Davis, the Dean of University of Ibadan, is here. We also have Dr. Rashid Macaulay, the Director of Veterinary Services in Lagos, with us. Professor Fashina, the country lead of ECTA in Kenya, is also here. Dr. Gloria, the Publicity Secretary, National Publicity Secretary of the NVMA, she's here. We also have our own acting registrar, Dr. Oladotun Fadipe, also on this call, and then the chairman of NVMA Edo, Dr. Emmanuel Chikwe. I'll be recognizing us as we proceed, but these are all leaders par excellence. Madam President, we want to multiply you in a lot of others. What do you think we need to start doing, and given your privileged role as the president of the council, to multiply leadership lessons? And this question, it's a very important question to us young vets, because we see some older vets, some young vets being stranded, haven't gone through the walls of university for 6-7 years, and you've been declared as a veterinarian. Yet 10-20 years down the line, you still look helpless. Dr. Charles was telling me of a colleague of his, I think yesterday or this morning where we were communicating, that after years of graduation, the person still looks like the profession is not worth it. Meanwhile, when I see people like you, I want to be a vet over and over again. How do you think we can multiply this leadership lesson across all the strata of veterinary medicine? Go ahead, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Femi. You see, life, to be honest, they said life is usually not an equal thing. First and foremost, let us understand that. It is not only in veterinary profession, but that is not an excuse that we are not equal. We are equal in the sense that all of us are veterinarians, and you should be able to have equal opportunities. But then life does not work like that. But I keep telling people that as a vet, to be honest, it's very difficult to be jobless if you really want to do it. However, at the council level, I want to go back to council level. At the council level, part of the roadmaps that we have is job creation for veterinarians, especially our young veterinarians that are teaming young veterinarians on the street. That we really want them to get something doing. And that's why we have a committee that has worked on job creation. And we are engaging some other stakeholders to have a discussion around that. Like, for instance, we were in Lagos State, you can remember. We had a discussion with them about opening up for veterinarians. And that's part of the thing, is that working seriously to stop this quackery, because they are the ones that are filling up most of these gaps. When we find this quackery, we have the veterinary seal that I just mentioned now, that if you are a vet or a paraprofessional, because we want to carry everybody on board, both the vets and veterinary paraprofessionals, we have seal. Whatever you sign, you have to attach your seal, like the lawyers will do, like the architects will do. So you put your seal. That's one way to check out quacks. And then the issue of the ID card practice license, which looks like a driver's license, is another way to curb quacks. Now, going back to Lagos, we had a discussion. You remember, Lagos state government invited the council. We went and had a discussion with them. And what is it? To create activities for veterinarians. Now, from the statistic we have, Lagos state government alone slaughters close between 6,000 to 7,000 heads of cattle per day. That is just Lagos state. And Lagos state government is saying now, okay, we want to partner with the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. And that is why we brought up this issue of the seal. And they said every cattle that comes into Lagos must be certified by a vet, signed. So let's look at this. We're talking about 6,000 heads of cattle per day going to Lagos. Slaughtered in Lagos. We don't even know the number going daily by trucks. Whichever state that they are coming, and they are saying that there has to be a certificate to say it is certified by a vet, to say that it is healthy, that it is fit for consumption by Lagosians. Even if you are charging 1,000 naira or 2,000 to put that your seal per head of cattle, let's say in your own area you are loading, and that you need to sign, let's say, even if it's a truck a day that is going to Lagos, that you are signing, that's just about 35 heads of cattle daily. You are charging it for whatever amount that you want to charge it. I don't know, I'm not too much of a business, but Dr. Charles will be able to tell me to tell us. Also, you, Femi, especially, you're also in private practice. So that's it, opening up jobs. We are now saying that every cow that, and we have just started talking about Lagos. Once we start with Lagos, I'm sure other states will also key into it. And we're going to go around and it's going to come up like that. And there are other areas where we're also trying to engage other private, and it's just this needs that is taking my time. And but what we were thinking of doing, what we're planning to do as part of our roadmap is to start going to states. And the council has taken that in every state, the minimum is that per local government that we are going to make it to sit down and talk with the governors. Every local government must have a minimum of one vet, 2 paraprofessionals. One vet, 2 paraprofessionals per state. That's we're talking about 774 local governments. Some states have only 1 or 2 vets in their employment of the state. And that is unacceptable by council. And every state we have gone, we have told them that every state must have a veterinarian at the local government level and paraprofessionals. Why we are including the paraprofessionals is I keep saying that if we don't take them along as we're moving, they will keep constituting a problem for the entire veterinary profession. And there's no profession, or there's no profession that survives alone. I keep telling my young vets that when you walk into the human hospital, you meet, by the time you leave, you meet about 6 different professionals, from the animal record, from the medical record people, to the nurses, to the doctors, to the laboratory technologists, to the radiographers, to the pharmacists. All of them are different. They're all working together, but everybody knows his limits. So by the time we standardize and have a standard operating procedure for the entire veterinary profession, we will be able to help people accountable and responsible. We can now say you are a paraprofessional, you are not supposed to go beyond this. And also as a vet, we must be able to allow room for the paraprofessional to also function. You cannot be the doctor. You will be the one to shave. You'll be the one to clean. You'll be the one to take vital parameters. You want to do everything. What happens to the paraprofessional? So those are all ways that we're thinking that by the time we create this enabling environment, so that and then we're also trying to partner with some of these funding bodies, because I know the last time we had a discussion, there are some organizations, funding agencies, banks that are coming up to council to say, okay, we want to partner to be able to sponsor veterinarians to open, to establish veterinary clinics across. They will fund it. There's the way they will do it so that we'll be able to empower young veterinarians to have their own outlets. All is an effort to make sure that we have these jobs. How do you replicate my time? I have said it, young veterinarians, there is no shortcut. One step at a time. BBC did not start today. We know when we were a long time ago. Now he's a big businessman. Dr. Odunton, Dr. Alasa, all of them are big timers. So Femi, now you are now a big Farmalert is growing.
Not really.
We replicate them and then we take them along. Those that are in the private, try to mentor them. Don't take advantage of young veterinarians, please. Mentoring is not taking advantage of young veterinarians unnecessarily and think that you are mentoring them. No, when you mentor them, you build them. Like the way you do. By the time they are leaving your place, they should be better equipped, better prepared to be able to stand on their feet. That is what it is all about. For those that want to join government, there are opportunities. We also create opportunities, enabling opportunities, and make sure like we're just talking. I know that I've not spoken with Dr. Charles, but we just talked about the advertisement by, is it Air Force that we shared? And they said veterinary assistant. And we're trying to let them define what veterinary assistant. You cannot have the veterinary assistant without having the veterinarian. So since they have a canine section, we'll insist that also have employ the veterinarian. So these are all ways that we're working to make sure that we create job opportunities for our teaming young veterinarians. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam President. I don't know why I keep smiling, but again, of course, it's because I'm very happy. And then this topic, it's also, as I initially stated, it's an important topic to us. I want to quickly acknowledge another council member, Dr. Olatunji Nasiru, who's also just joined. I'll keep scrolling once I see anybody. And of course, please pardon me if I don't recognize you. Maybe I'm here to scroll to your side, but I will do my bit to ensure that everybody is recognized. Madam President said...
I've also seen my classmate, Dr. Garba Umar Musa.
Okay.
NDA.
we all will have an opportunity. I just have 2 questions to ask Madam President. Then if you have a question you want to ask her directly, all you just need to do is to raise up your hand. I will acknowledge you, and then if you can type, you will have it echoed out in the meeting. So as a way of recap, Madam President said opportunities are everywhere. So if you feel stranded, it's not because there are no opportunities. They are everywhere. She was just telling us about the opportunity in Lagos that extends everywhere. She now mentioned her role, which we all can acknowledge in the veterinary profession, of opening up opportunities to veterinarians. But more importantly, she stressed the fact that mentoring is a big part of it. Mentoring is a very big part of it. So some of us are lucky to have her as mentors, and we don't want to share her. But again, if you persist for a long time, we can give you a pass. But we are so privileged and lucky to have her as a mentor. And there are other mentors, all leaders in the veterinary profession who have achieved a feat or 1 or 2 feats, could also serve as mentors, because once you move with the wise, of course, there's a tendency that you become that wise. Madam President, to another question, how difficult is it to become a leader in Nigeria? Right, I've had my shot at also some few leadership roles under your supervision. And I keep asking myself, if given another opportunity, will I want to come back? That's because of the level of obstacles I've seen. Nigeria is a tough place, right? But you are a leader that handles challenges and keeps smiling. Some of us look at you and remember you to just pick up our energy and keep going. What will you advise the most important points being a leader in a third world country like us? And how do you think we can keep smiling while still leading others?
Tell me, just keep like, is that going round and round and round, around again? You see, I told you as a leader, you need to be focused. And if you want to miss on your goals, you allow distractors. And confidence. Those are all the skills that you need. It doesn't matter, a leader is in Africa, a leader is in Europe. Of course, the obstacles may be different, but every leader has its own challenge. Every region has its own challenge. Of course, they will not be bothered about maybe electricity, for instance. But in our own case, also, we have our own peculiar challenges. And they also have their own peculiar challenges. But there's this question, they keep saying that are leaders born or they are made?
They are made.
So it depends on what you want to, which school of thought you want to take. Whether you think leaders are born. Yes, some people can say yes, leaders are born. Some people can say leaders are made. But no matter what, you can develop your leadership skills. Even if you are born a leader, if you stay like that without developing on those skills, you end up losing, because you lose those skills. It's a skill. That's just like veterinary profession is a skilled profession. You graduate from the veterinary school today. Yes, you are a vet, but we all know that there are some that have things at their fingertips. Like when you're talking about surgery, now you go and meet small animal surgery. Dr. Tunji Naso, even if you close his eyes, you know he can do surgery. So it's not just reading veterinary medicine, but that you develop those skills. So it's the same thing with leadership. For you to be an effective leader, you must be able to develop those leadership, those work on them consciously, deliberately, work on being a leader. Despite those innate gifts that you had, that you came with, you need to develop to be a good leader.
Thank you so much, Madam President. So if you have a question for Madam President, there are 2 ways of stating those questions. either you raise up your hand, let me acknowledge you, or you type those questions on the chat box. I'm going to just be giving one more questions, and then I'll open up the room for a much more robust question and answer. So Dr. Gidado Adamu, I want to also recognize you, University of Maiduguri, Department of Veterinary Public Health and Preventive Medicine. Thank you for being on this call. Madam President, I don't want you to say that I'm also going round and round, but I want you to mention what gives you the courage to keep breaking barriers. While Dr. Nancy was reeling out your achievement, we were seeing first female Monitor General in 44 years. And I'm also privileged to be part of the process, and I know that
they campaign team.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for saying that out. But again, I know they were very strong contenders. In fact, people asked you to give up because there's no way you could win. You were taking every day as it comes with big confidence, and you eventually won. You know, so what gives you this confidence to keep breaking barriers, and how can we vets pick up these lessons and keep breaking the barriers we need to break, so that one day we will also be recognized as the first so to go to the moon, or the first so to go to the sun? Go ahead, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Femi. I will still take you back to those qualities of a good leader. Confidence is one of them that I mentioned. Confidence, optimistic. You see, in life, I'm a very adventurous person. I like taking challenges. I tell you what, when I was coming to NIPS, when I was nominated, and I met one of my bosses, and we're coming, of course, because some police officers, a lot of other police officers have been to NIPS. You've met some other persons that have been to NIPS. So you know, of course, what happens to a certain extent, that there is this montage. And I was like, it sounded like a joke, and people thought I was actually joking. I don't joke. I'm a very optimistic person, Femi. And I know you know too. And those are some of the qualities I've told you. You need to be optimistic, confident, be able to sell yourself, to be able to have influence. You see, being a leader is about influence, I've told you before. So I now told my boss that when I go to NIPS, I'm going to contest for the position of the Monitor General. And he said, no. That is a very difficult task. In fact, normally we give the women Deputy Monitor General. I said, no, sir. Deputy Monitor General. I want to be the Monitor General. And he thought I was actually joking. I said, I should have told you that just go and take the Deputy Monitor. I said, okay, don't worry, just wish me well. I'm going to contest for the office of the Monitor General. And I made up my mind from then. When I came and arrived in NIPS here, each time when I registered and I meet some of my colleagues, participants, and I greet, oh, we introduce how much, and excuse me, for the information, I'm going to contest for the Monitor General. And everybody thought it was a joke. And I knew that I wasn't joking. So that is the kind of a thing that you need. When you have a goal, focus on it. Do not allow anybody to distract you from those goals or from that goal, that particular thing that you want to achieve. Set your mind on it. That is what you want. Nobody should ask you to do anything less than what you want. If this is what you want, just go for it, and you will achieve it. But when you allow people to tell you that you cannot achieve this, then you start listening. I don't even listen to people that tell me that I can't do it. I always like taking those challenges. That is how, and that is what I want to encourage you, young veterinarians. Don't allow anybody to discourage you and tell you that this is a difficult task. As long as it's your record, other people have gone there. It's not about gender, it's about capacity. So as long as other people have, even if nobody passed that route, please try. Go ahead. Be adventurous. You can always be the first. Just like in 44 years. And it's like everybody believes that, oh, no, And it happened. So young vets, please go out there, have your goals, pursue them with all sense of seriousness, and be in fact, be unapologetic about it. When you want something, go ahead and pursue it. That is just the
Well, Madam President said, be unapologetic about your goal. I took that. She said, when you have a goal, don't allow anyone distract you. The sky is wide.
It's the beginning, it's not the limitation.
Anybody can be anywhere. Anybody can be anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Madam President, you can imagine if you didn't have that goal, you wouldn't have been the first. So it all starts with the goal.
Yes.
In the veterinary profession, we need to be that ambitious. There's no need competing with the pharmaceutical society. There's no need.
No.
There's no need competing. With a big audacious goal, unfortunately for us, we have a leader par excellence leading the veterinary community at this point. Somebody who is not telling us to break barrier, right? Who is actually breaking the barrier herself. I'm looking forward to, after this meeting, we have young vets come up to us, even older vets, that after this ECHO education, you designed a big goal and you were all out achieving that. I think we'll be very proud of that. I'm just going to be taking a few leaders to say something. So let me start from Professor Fashina. I saw you there. You're country team lead for ECTA in Kenya, and you're also a leader we all respect. What do you think about Madam President's assertion on big goals, and what story can you say to also collaborate with what she's saying? And if you have any question for Madam President. Go ahead, Professor Fashina.
Yeah. Good evening, colleagues, and thank you, Madam President, for a very interesting session. I can't agree with you less. Definitely, if you really want to grow, where there is no bridge, just build the bridge and continue to move. And where there is no ladder, just put a ladder there and climb. You cannot afford to be held back, because definitely, because of competing interests, everybody will try to discourage you so that they'll be ahead of you, and then you become subservient to them. But you've really given us a stimulating session today. My question is with regards to the succession plan. You know, one thing we as vets have suffered is that we've had good leaders in very important and strategic positions, but sometimes you don't have this succession plan. For example, there was a time we have about 5 ministers who are veterinarians in a single cabinet. And we know the stride we were able to make as vets in that period of time. That was the time we had a lot of the gazettes that are backing up a lot of our strong points today, including the parity scale and all those things. What are the succession plans that the leadership of vets in Nigeria, both at the Vet Council, at the Veterinary Association, at our different institutions, what are the succession plan, or what are the discussions around the succession plan we are having to make sure that, like we have in the structure in the police now, as you are the AIG now, I will be happy to see you having a compole behind you, another deputy compole following you, another assistant inspector general coming up. You have them in succession like that down the line. I know we have quite a number of people, but what are we doing along that discussion so that we institutionalize this and it doesn't become once in a period, once in a lifetime opportunity for us as vets? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Fashina. Wonderful question. Madam President.
Thank you very much, Prof. It's a pleasure seeing you this afternoon. Well, you know, depending on the organization, if you talk about succession plan, like just like you said, like in the Nigerian police, for instance, we have about 50 veterinarians in the police at the moment. And they are different, although we had issues recruitment, and we recruited so many at the same time, and all of them were like on the same rank. But of course, time will definitely, the system will find a way to stream out leadership amongst them. So that is, at least in a government system, there's a way systematically that the next person will come. Like recently, Dr. Alabi retired as the CVOM, and there was no vacuum. Automatically, we have Dr. Mrs. Habib that took over, and behind her we have also veterinarians. But for the same thing, I'm sure, in the military. So it's going to be the same thing in the civil service or public service. However, like in the council, it might not work like that, or in the NVMA, it is by election. Because in the council, for instance, what we have in the council, we have two categories of council members. We have the statutory members of council, who are automatically, by virtue of being in a particular office, they are members of council, like the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, the Executive Director of NVRI, the deans of the faculties of veterinary medicine in Nigeria. And then previously we used to have the DVSs, which we are trying to bring a number of them to at least have a representative, because of course the council cannot actually, whatever council policy we formulate, we need the DVS to be able to implement at the state level. Every veterinary practice is located in the states. So we will be able to have at least a representative of them in council. So those are the statutory members. Now, the next category are the elected members. The elected members are being elected from the general veterinary population. And there are for now, there are 8 elected members, which we are also trying to see in the bill that's in the National Assembly, increasing the number and also giving the veterinary paraprofessionals a seat in the council. Because if we want to regulate them, we should be able to have them represented, either 1 or 2 of the veterinary paraprofession in Veterinary Council of Nigeria, so that they are part of the decision. Whatever we say, this is the direction, they must be able to relay it to their professionals. Now, coming to, in terms of policies, let me moving from, because when we came on board, we looked at it that we didn't have anything to work on. We just dabbled. There was no direction. We just dabbled and said, oh, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. If you don't have leaders, team of leaders that will be able to say this is the direction, then there is none. So what we have tried to do in council now is that we did what I said, an opinion poll, get opinions from vet. We drew up what we call a roadmap for the veterinary profession, that's for the council. And now a white paper has come. We are trying to work out and bring out at least 3 to 5 years strategic plan for the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. We are not going to stay throughout during that period, but we should be able to key into those 3 or 5 years strategic plan for the council. By the time we leave now, the next team of council members, they will have a document that is guiding their what they are doing. That one will say, okay, there is a continuation, that there's a 3 to 5 year strategic plan that is developed for the Veterinary Council of Nigeria for the projection of the veterinary profession in this country. So when they come, they will just key into it and say, okay, this is where these people have stopped, and this is where it's going to continue. And we assume that by that time is coming, they should be able to review the strategic plan, looking at other new emerging issues that we want the veterinarian to key into. So those are some of the things, but I'm sure within the civil service, there is effective, this generational, there shouldn't be any gap because of the way the system, you have assistant directors, you have deputy directors, you have directors, you have so they are moving in that, and new vets are being employed to occupy those positions. I think that's I hope I'm able to answer the questions.
Yes, Madam President, I think you answered extensively. To also add that one of the reasons why we're having meetings like this, because I think leadership can be multiplied through exposure. You are one leader that we respect. And we have, I think we constantly have a little above 100, but if we take the score, almost 200 veterinarians will have joined court. Exposing these veterinarians to your leadership story is one, like every day I look at you, I learn from you, I become a better person. And that's one of the ways of also ensuring that there's continuity. We don't know, I don't know exactly what I will do, but we know we will make you proud, Madam President, for letting us have you around and for also sharing your heart with us most often. I want to call Dr. Kwajafa now. He said his battery is low, but I want him to say something. Dr. Kwajafa is also a member of the Veterinary Council Board under the direct leadership of the Assistant Inspector General of Police. I'm trying to look out for him so that I can quickly unmute him. Or maybe his battery has disappointed him. Just a moment.
No, I just saw him. He's still there.
Just a moment. Let me type out his name. Wow. Beautiful. So, Dr. Kwajafa, just to say a few words, you've been directly under the leadership of the President of the Council, and then to make a point on that, and then to see if you have any questions for Madam President.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful afternoon, except for Farmalert that give less than 48 hours notice for this type of mentorship. And this confirms that Farmalert want to pocket Madam President as solely their own mentor, because time is important for people to plan for such events. By the way, that's an observation I think Farmalert will make correction on. Madam President, they refer to you as Madam Capacity. There is something I know is difficult for people to reveal. When I say what are your inspirations to success? Some have spiritual inspirations. Some have what they call natural inspiration. Some have what they call struggle inspiration, and they succeed. Not many will give you 100% answer to this question. But I know, possibly, even if it is not 100%, we will live to learn some few things about the inspiration of Madam President. And I know they said on easy lies the head that wears the crown. With all this, results are coming and results will continue to come. All we need is the support of the membership of the veterinary profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwajafa. I'm going to attend to your question after Madam President has spoken. But thank you for this comment. Madam President, what are your inspirations?
Well, to be honest, first and foremost, I get a lot of inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from great leaders. You see, as when you are growing up as a leader, you also get inspired by others that do things differently. So when you look, you identify. Even my children at home, I always tell them, please identify yourself with the brilliant ones in school. Don't go and be following people that are not smart. So I always get inspired by smart people, smart leaders. That is just it.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for letting us know where your source of inspirations are. I see somebody raising up his hands. I will call you shortly, but let me call two other leaders on this call. So Dr. Charles, you've also been a leader in the veterinary community, and you're still a leader in the veterinary community.
Please, with due respect, Professor Ikechukwu Igbokwe has been raising his hand. He's my senior. Let's give him that, please. Professor Ikechukwu.
So you know, I'm still an upcoming vet, and I wasn't able to recognize his person.
Yeah,
but
he's a professor of avian pathology.
Oh, so Prof, many apology for that. I was going to recognize you shortly after Dr. Charles, but again, he has given you the space to go ahead and say a few words. You have been unmuted, Prof.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. I know we have not met in person. You probably don't know me very well. I'm happy to be here with all of you. AIG Baju, we met for the first time, I think, in Ilorin. And that was when you started thinking about running. You ran that year and you didn't get it, but you persisted and eventually you got it. I want to talk on an aspect that is very important for the profession, and that is mentorship. Mentorship is very, very important, and I will ask the president of the council to make one or two comments about that, how she's fostering that area. One of my students here got into veterinary medicine. She wasn't actually looking for that initially. Then one day the father, who happens to be my friend, called me and asking for her to change her course, and asking me whether, you know, the private sector is still open for her daughter by the time she graduates, that public sector is getting filled up. So that brings me to the area of mentorship. How have we refined mentorship in the private sector so that some of our graduates who seem to be loitering, if I may use that word, who are not very well oriented towards a practice that is successful, could be keyed into taking an approach that will transform their efforts into a better success. I know that the AIG Baju talked about internship in one meeting I had with her in the past. Internship is good. I don't know how far we can integrate it because there's a law that has to be put in place for it. But in the absence of an internship, how are we arranging a situation where the resilience can be built around mentorship? Because if you have succeeded like Charles Ibe now, who has made a success in the private sector, how can the younger ones look up to him, and how do they key into that mentorship program? Some of the young ones don't even know how to become mentees. They don't have the attitude and probably the disposition for mentorship. And that could be one of the things that will be militating against the growth of the profession. So let the AIG give us an insight about any program about mentorship that's on the ground for the private sector mainly. The public sector, the professors can take care of it. We are doing our best. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. And then many apologies for the delay in calling you. Madam Capacity.
Thank you very much, Prof. It's a long time we met. I just saw the picture and I remember the face when you used the video. It's a pleasure. You're looking good. Well, about mentorship, whether it is in the public or in the private, it's very important. And then the issue of student internship. I don't know if you have been following the Veterinary Council on our Twitter handle. When we had the retreat sometimes back, part of our communique and the 7 roadmaps that we have developed is the issue of student internship, which the council has approved. We had a committee that worked on it. And just like I said, the white paper is going to come out soon. And we are trying to strategize to see the steps that we need to take, what we need to do. First and foremost, because we have to walk around with the institutions that are going to provide those internship programs. If you don't identify, map out, part of what we're also doing in council is about digitization. We're going to digitize all veterinary premises, geomapping of veterinary premises, so that we know where these facilities are, where we can send our students. So that it's not going to be like a replica of the ITF COS program, whereby young vets or young students will just go with their logbook at the end of this, they hardly even go to the clinics. They will just, at the end of the day, get somebody sign and then they take it back without really learning something. So we want to make sure that we strategize and put implementation strategies for the internship program. And that's why I say when we come out with that 3 to 5 years strategic plan for the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, the issue of internship is very topical, and we're taking it very seriously, and we're working on it. Now, I know that the private sector is doing a lot in terms of mentorship. We're also keen into it. This is part of it. We have been involved, even those of us that are in government offices. We do mentor, whether you are in private or you are in the government, we still mentor young veterinarians. But I think it's a field that a lot of vets, a lot of people, not just veterinarians, don't even understand what is it to mentor, who is supposed to be mentor and the mentee, and so on and so forth. I think honestly, this question has really drawn my attention, and I'm sure some of the council members that are there. Unfortunately, I don't know, Dr. Gani is not here, who is the chairman of the VCN Continuing Education Program. I'm going to bring it up at the council so that the next council continuing education, we are going to focus on mentoring issues, whereby we'll be able to train people on how to mentor and also how to become mentees. Let us see how we will work around it and bring up something. And thank you for drawing my attention to it. I'm sure we have about 3 council members now, or 4. I didn't see Dr. Tunji, but Femi said he saw him. So all of us are here on board. We'll bring it up at council to make sure that it is part of the training program, the continuing education training program, for us to be able to train people on mentoring, so that we'll be able to take it seriously. These are our young teaming veterinarians that are there. We should be able to make deliberate effort to mentor them, to be able to understand the entire system. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you so much, Madam President, again, as also being part of the council, I know your passion around this internship and the plans that you have already made together with the entire white paper team. And I just want to tell the veterinarians that when it's being rolled out, I think we'll all be proud of the extensive work Madam President has done. This is on the side note also. We at Farmalert, we are doing our bit. Dr. Nancy here, who is our facilitator today, we picked her as a student, and now she's facilitating one of our programs. What we do also in Farmalert is to also open our arms to young vets who are passionate and who can keep up the discipline of work, to see how we can also bring them up and see that they are also fine. I'll quickly take, so because of our time, we barely have just 10 minutes for this. I'm just going to, I see a question on the chat. I will take Dr. Charles, and then I will take one more person, and then I'll read the question on the chat, then we'll try to round up if we don't mind. If we keep it short, then we can take more questions. Dr. Charles, as an elder statesman, what we have to say?
Yeah, what I have to say is that thank you, VCN, for a job well done, honestly. And when you see a castigator overnight and turning himself into an instigator, it means a lot of things has gone in between. And most of you knew me here 15 years ago, knew that I was a hypercritic on things going wrong. And not only that, I was an instigator or a propeller for us to have an institutionalized change, a structural change that can advance the mechanism of what we are seeing today into action. And if we continue to be like this, my beloved brothers and sisters, a lot of things will come our way. If things are not organized, things becomes wrong. Everything, every step you put will be in the wrong direction. We are getting it right, and we must continue to get it right. And I am happy from what Aisha is saying today. A policeman who's supposed to be in the comfort of her room, and people are calling her at midnight, she's picking the call, means that she has a drive, a passion. First of all, we must start electing people who have passion, love, and discipline for this profession. And once we get it to that level, we'll get it right. And I am saying this, resilience does not apex or tipex on the leaders. It must be from the followership to the leaders down to the followership. Effective followership drives good leadership. Femi mentioned one person who was horrible. I met at you some time ago from my class of 36 years ago. This young man has an old man has an indoor instinct. Never seen in any conference, never seen where verse meet. How can you be able to propel yourself forward if we are indoor? I always say it. If you remain indoor, you will never get outdoor blessing. You have to jump out of the box. Part of our strategies and mechanisms and in life is to discipline ourselves along coming out to be seen, coming out to work for the profession. And I warn you, young people who are younger vets, and you maybe are saying the older vets are not doing anything, which I said, before you know it, you'll be an older vet. And the same castigating galore, the same casting will take preeminent and more preeminent. In fact, we are doing it in an analog phase, indoors. Now we are in the digital phase where any small drop, it gets across the rank.
Thank you so much.
There's another point I want to raise.
But finally, please.
Finally, almost finally, before I ask my question, you cannot be a good entrepreneur if you're not a good entrepreneur. You know, I always bring my nomenclatures. You cannot be, you go and Google entrepreneur, opposite of entrepreneur. You cannot be a good entrepreneur if you don't discipline yourself to work hard under somebody who is an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur, say you are working under an entrepreneur. If you remain indisciplined, by the time you jump into your own goalpost, into on your table, you are still behaving same. You will continue same. You will not make it. So you need to, for you to be mentored, you need to be a good mentee.
You're right.
I have catalog of experience, which if I unleash and unfold here from younger vets I wanted to help to build my company, who tried to destroy it. At the end of the day, I'm still better than them because they can't succeed. And they will never succeed. Try to be in a form that have that in your mindset. When you work hard for somebody, under him, people will work under you, they will work hard under you, and then you propel. But if you remain an in situ, try to destroy, to wreak havoc, you will be havoc. Then the question I want to get to AIG. That's what, the question I want to get to AIG. We are getting our laws right, we are getting our things right, but there are some aspects of our profession that is not really right. We cannot, and the profession cannot remain under the Ministry of, the tools we are using in the profession is under the Ministry of Health, under NAFDAC, and we're in the Ministry of Agriculture. And John Keating from Ministry of Agriculture to Health for you to get what you want. In Kenya, it is not like that. In some countries, it's not like that. We need to domesticate VMAP under Ministry of Agriculture. And for we to do it, we must upstate, because if you look at this law that I just signed, it takes a bow from ECOWAS regulation and ECOWAS protocol. We need to update the ECOWAS protocol so that by the time we are domesticating ECOWAS protocol, as we did in the last law we have, it will be so easy. You have a document to back it up. Or elsewhere, if you try it inside here, some people can come and squeeze you. But you have a document that Nigeria is a signatory to, you go a long way. And AIG, let me tell you with due respect, I have respect for you. Don't worry, I have respect for you. You've done well. And I'm ready to defend you anything, anytime. And you're one of your mechanical backers.
Thank you so much.
I back you. I have backed
thank you so much, Dr. Charles. Madam President, I think we'll just compile all the questions. I will recognize quickly 2 people to make a comment and then add their questions so that you can respond to all that at a go. Let's take Professor Ola Davis. you want to say something around this, and then also, if you have any questions, you can ask Madam President. Professor Ola Davis.
Thank you very much, Dr. Femi.
Yes,
I want to say good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon,
please permit me to lean on the standing protocol. I would like to say a big thank you to Madam President. You have actually given an excellent leadership, and we are so proud of you. Well done, ma. Well done, ma. And now talking about mentorship, I want to say that many of our vets, our senior people, have actually, mentored individuals. But then I think people like Dr. Abiade, Nasir, so many of them, I have known these people for a very long time, and we still take our students even to their clinic. And also there's another new person also that is coming up that has already opened up our place to host, House of Pluto. So we have so many of these people, but our younger vets, they need to learn before earning. Many of them want money first. They want to make it. They want to eat it. They want to blow. But you cannot blow if you don't learn. So there's a need for us to encourage them. This is what we have been advocating. Learn first before you want to earn. Money will come, but then the place of learning, the place of integrity. So these are the things that I would want us to, to pass across to the younger generation. You will blow, but then learn first. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you so much.
You are doing great. And we are super proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. I think young vets are here. I'm going to give opportunity to Dr. Olatunji Nasir, and then Madam President, please, you allow me also recognize a young vet among us that is equally raising our hands. That will be the last, and then we will continue. Dr. Olatunji Nasir. I'm going to add, Dr. Olatunji Nasir is also a member of the Veterinary Council Board and the Commonwealth Veterinary Association President. What do you have to say? And then what questions do you have for Madam Capacity?
Let me first of all welcome our dear President, or let me commend her for what she has been saying so far. Quite honestly, I joined a bit late because I've been dealing with some issues at the clinic. But I align myself with all our thoughts and the activities of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria as to how the fortunes of the profession would generally be improved. Let me just weigh on the issue of mentoring of veterinary graduates. I think it goes beyond just sending somebody to somebody's hospital or clinic or farms or whatever. For me, it has to be structured in a way because there are lots of our students who are not able to just approach people that, oh, we want to be your mentee. Apart from the fact that they have these externship programs that they do in between classes, in between levels, that they are compulsorily going to come to a particular clinic. But there are some other ones that may not have the opportunity of fitting into those externship programs, but will have to probably come by themselves. I think I want to enjoin all our young vets that, for example, in my place, and I'm sure Dr. Abiade's place, there are lots of mentees. Even as I'm speaking to you now, I have a hold of them downstairs. Some of them come only on Saturday. Some of them come particular days of the week. And then we try to do what we need to do for the younger generation. I think it's something that has to be encouraged. And then by extension, I'm sure the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, under the able leadership of our president, is also going to come up with the internship program, which is a novel program that a lot of our vets in Nigeria are actually clamoring for. It is not a new thing. It's been done all over the world, but we need it in Nigeria so that we have to ensure that the day one competence of a veterinarian as prescribed by the OIE is something that has to be ensured. So I would want the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, of which I'm also a member,
Exactly.
to speed up the process of making sure that the internship program starts. I think it's going to be music to the ears of a lot of young vets in Nigeria. And then again, the externship that will be well monitored. So as for the question, now I want to behave as an ordinary vet now, not as a member of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. Let me behave like an ordinary vet, Madam President. Like, there are lots of things that we are expecting and we have heard that this council will do to veterinarians. A lot of things. We want to change the game. I'm not sure, I don't know whether you have said those things before, but I'm aware that there are lots of lofty programs that the Vet Council is having for veterinarians. If you have said them before, then I can rest my case. If you have not said them, I want you to probably tell the veterinarians what they should expect from the Veterinary Council of Nigeria in the next 1 or 2 months that will gladden their hearts now.
All right, so and thank you, Dr. Tunji. I think she has mentioned some, but I will give her the last. Madam President, just one more person, and then you collate all the questions because we're already out of time. But I have to give a young vet. There are 2 young vets, a student, but I will just choose one. Dr. Daphne, you're a young vet. I'm unmuting you. So just straight to the point, ask your questions so that Madam President can respond to everyone at the same time. Go ahead, Dr. Daphne.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kaide. Respectfully, good evening, everyone. I'm not just a young vet. I like to say I'm a baby vet because I am actually a baby vet. So, well done, Farmalert. I really understand where Dr. Femi is coming from whenever he is talking about his leadership skills and all of that. Myself and him have disagreed to agree on this particular issue. And I'm happy that there's a lot of advocacy going round about that. Thank you, Madam President. The thing is about your leadership, even if let's assume that this tenor hasn't achieved anything, that's an assumption. The fact that there's a lot of engagement between VCN and its membership, it's enough achievement. I just came into the veterinary profession less than 5 years ago, but then I can say that there's been a lot of engagement with this present dispensation. Okay, so I'm coming, my concern is about the internship program. Is it going to be compulsory? If yes, I'm coming, I wouldn't dispute the fact that yes, we have certain attitudes in younger vets that just want to blow, just like someone said earlier. How be it, we also have instances of senior vets exploiting junior vets so much. So what control measures are we going to put in place? How are we going to make sure this is very effective, that the young vets are protected and they are there to do what they are meant to do and they do it, so that it's a win-win. It's not as if they are going there and they're just going to toil and they're not going to. Are we going to have things like a little bit of stipends for them also? Because take it or leave it, yes, learning is very important, but so is earning, and earning gives you a form of motivation. So I'd really love if we have that's put in place. And then Dr. Femi does not have any option but to share you with me, because since you're coming to NIPS, I'll just trek from my office and come and meet you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Daphne, for your contribution. Madam President, you have the next few minutes to answer all the questions. But just as a way of stressing what Dr. Daphne says, I'm in the middle of old vets and young vets. And when I listen to old vets, they say that young vets don't want to learn. When I'm in the middle of young vets will think that old vets are exploitative, right? And I always tell everybody that there needs to be a balance. So, Madam President, you're in a unique position as the President of the Council to answer all our questions. Go ahead, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Femi. Let me start with my colleague, the chairman, Veterinary Practice Premises Committee, Dr. Tunji Nasser. I wanted you to say, it's we can blow the trumpet together. I just mentioned a few because I was just asked to talk about leadership qualities. So I try to chip in some of the activities that the council are going to come out with, and the coming up, especially with the white paper. You see, there are a lot of, I've had people say, oh, Veterinary Council has just been talking, they didn't do anything. But it depends on how you rate council, to be honest. For me, no matter how we look at it, I can say that, just let me blow my trumpet, that the Veterinary Council in the last 2 years has done a lot, honestly, but there's much to do anyways. But anything that you do without planning, you're just planning. Whatever we say we want to do it correctly. Whatever that is worth doing, they say is worth doing well. And that is why we took our time to plan out. When we came on board, we were faced with the challenges of COVID-19, which the council has responded very well in the from being part of the COVID-19 emergency operating center, from doing decontamination programs to doing, which Dr. Tunji is also the national chairman of that decontamination program, to developing the protocol on COVID-19 in animals for Nigeria, and so many other things. But along that also, we sat down and we said, we need to draw up a plan. Because if we just start like that, it is going to, we're going to run into trouble. And that is why we're coming out with the white paper, which I said it is going to be 3 to 5 years strategic plan for the council. Even when we leave, the next council that comes will have a document that there's a roadmap that we have created for them to move with. And part of those things is what? Digitization. We are going to come, because we noticed during the pandemic that the veterinarians had issues of identification. There are times 10 o'clock, 1 a.m., a vet will call me, oh, I'm being stopped, arrested by a policeman, and he's not believing that I'm a vet. And when I ask, the policeman will say, oh, man, he doesn't have any means to show me that he's a doctor. And we said we need to find a way to have a unified ID card for veterinarians, which will also serve as a practicing license. And that license will be able to, as I say, it has a QR number. Then we also were talking about the seal, veterinary seal. That we all, now when you sign as a vet, you will have a seal attached to it that carries your name and your VCN number. And then we're talking about the internship. We're talking about upgrading or reviewing the entire curriculum of veterinary training in our university, to make sure, just like Tunji Nasser said, day one competencies, because we realize that there's so much gap, a lot of complaints. So we want to make sure that the day one competencies are included, and then we have a review to be able to address new challenges in the on the field. So we're in the process of that. Then we're talking about regional integration, whereby veterinarians from Nigeria, within, at least we start from the West African sub-region, whereby when you graduate, we're not saying no job. There's countries in West Africa that have maybe just 1 vet or 2 vets in the entire of that country. That means there's a job opportunity within the West African sub-region. So we want to see that we are working with ECOWAS to make sure that we open up the West African sub-region, that you graduate from vet school in Nigeria, you can easily go to Liberia, for instance, where there's need for veterinarians. You will be able to practice, but because we are trying to unify the curriculum so that you don't need to be restricted. You can go to any of these West African countries and practice. Then another thing is, we know when we came, there was also issue that has to do with the College of Veterinary Surgeons Nigeria. We are trying to now restructure the entire council, which I don't know, Femi, if you have that out, that the council has just approved. We have dissolved the board of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, and we have constituted an interim management board, and we also have the report from the committee and the council that worked, in spite of the white paper, that work on the restructuring of to make sure that the College of Veterinary Surgeons is of international standard. Those are some of the issues, and then restructure the council. So there are a lot of things that are actually coming up, just like Dr. Tunji said, but it's not the timing for that. But whenever we have that opportunity, we want to let veterinarians, as I said, one of the qualities of a good leader is to be able to communicate. And that's why for the very first time we have the Committee on ICT and Publicity in Council. It's a standing committee to be able to communicate with the veterinary public, to tell them what we're doing so that you'll be able to appreciate that we're not just sitting down and not doing anything. So these are some of the things. And then we're also trying to do the geo-mapping of the entire veterinary practices in Nigeria. At a click, you'll be able to know which are the new registered veterinary practice within your own area, how you can assess, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of things. You didn't see anything happening in these 2 years because we are at the planning level. If we don't plan well, we come up with something that will fail. So by the time we come out fully launching in the next, before the end of the month, I can assure you that we're going to launch first the veterinary license ID card. We're going to launch it, and the seal. Dr. T is also part of the Femi. They are both part of the subcommittees that have worked on the veterinary seal, as well as geo-mapping of veterinary practices in Nigeria. So there are a lot of things that we're actually working on. But Femi, you need to do a lot of publicity. You know, yesterday I talked to you. You need to do a lot of publicity on most of these programs that council is now doing. Now coming to my next daughter. Don't worry, Femi will share with you. He has no. I know he has a big heart. He always fight and say that I'm adopting too many children and it's becoming uncomfortable that he's sharing one more stuff. But I have a wide heart for many children. So compulsory, yes, we are coming out. I don't want to preempt. The white paper is not out. That is why you have a detailed steps of how the internship is going to look like. And that is why I said the internship program is not only about the DCM. DCM, we cannot wake up in the morning and say we are starting internship. There are a lot of critical and key stakeholders that need to be carried on board. Because if we say we are going to do internship, where are they going? And that's why I said we have to register. We know where they are going, that they are actually doing the right thing, that are being supervised, and so on and so forth, that the main objective of the internship is achieved. So we'll have stipends and so on and so forth. So that's why it's taking us a little bit of time. So we are definitely, and then this issue of exploitation, honestly, it's a very serious matter. I was just working with some other things at the moment. The issue of exploitation, council has zero tolerance against exploitation of any veterinary surgeon, especially our young veterinarians. And honestly, you know, in council, we also have the Veterinary Council investigating panel, and we have the tribunal. Please, Femi, I think we need to do a lot of sensitization. Any veterinarian, young vet that feels he's being exploited by any senior vet, please bring it up to the attention of council. We will investigate it. And if that senior vet is found wanting, we'll make sure we deal with that vet appropriately as is being required by the law establishing the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. Especially our female veterinarians, please do not allow yourself to be exploited, especially sexually, for whatever motivation, for whatever thing. I am a woman, and also as the Dr. Nancy said, I am the first gender advisor. And we have zero tolerance for sexual exploitation, especially. I know that some of our young veterinarians, female veterinarians, face a lot of this exploitation. Please, I will say it now and all the time. If you feel you are being exploited as a young vet, either professionally, either in terms of exploiting you, not giving you the right thing that you earn, or for the female vet, if you feel any senior vet is exploiting you sexually, please call me at any time. My number is not hidden. You can always call me. I will make sure we are giving you all the support that you need to make sure that we protect all our young veterinarians, all our female veterinarians. I keep telling people this example. As a young vet, there is no woman. Sometimes you have this, whether it's by a vet or a non-vet, please, we are open to make sure that that person is the vet is protected, and we make sure that that person faces the full wrath of the law. I remember I told people when I was a young vet, And now I was faced with you're handling a case, and somebody will say, "Oh, doctor, can you come and handle my dog house calls?" Not like every other male counterpart will go and do house calls. The first time you go, oh, bed, you are here, you call your dog, my dog is, can you come to the house? You come and check. By the time you come, he'll be telling you another thing. How is your evening like? How is your evening like means what? So it means it's not about the dog. It's asking you about evening like, whether you need to have dinner. Honestly, for female vets, we are here with you. We will stand with you. We will protect your interests. Whosoever exploits you, especially sexually, whichever way, there's zero tolerance to that. And if it is any other professionally exploit you, please come to council. We have the necessary steps and processes to make sure that we discipline that person appropriately. Thank you very much.
Madam President, you ended in a very high gear note.
Yes.
So
I have zero tolerance for exploitation, especially sexual exploitation of young veterinarians.
So thank you so much for the confidence you're giving to the young vets, especially the female ones. For us young male vets to just also know that we're in the council too. And if anyone exploits you, that's just on a lighter note. But thank you so much, Madam President. I know your passion to protecting young female veterinarians. Thank you so much. Now, we've gone past time, and we need to wind this up. But Madam President, somebody has been dragging my position with me, and I promised him I was going to give him a moment. That's the immediate past president of the council, of the association. Dr.
You know, you're always fighting with Ado. I know that.
Yes, but I wanted him to acknowledge the fact that he's second. So just 30 seconds, I'd already acknowledged that I will give him a few moments. Dr. Ibrahim Shehu Ado, well done for being a young champion that you are. I'm trying to unmute you. For the good work you did during your presidency as the National Veterinary Medical Association National President. I just want you to say a few words and acknowledge the fact that you are second born. Go ahead, President.
Thank you very much, Dr. Femi. My position is, you can't dispute my position, but I'll let you shine since you are on Farmalert today. You've been doing a wonderful job to sensitize the veterinary community, and the ECHO program, honestly, we're very proud of it, and is bringing out to the light what we as veterinarians can do. And to talk about leadership, I think there's no better person in the veterinary sphere to do that than Madam President. And I'm sure we've all learned a lot. This is just a tip of the iceberg for the people that are on the call. We that have been close to Madam President over the years, we've been learning these skills day in, day out, day and night. She is always there to help us. She's always willing and receptive to us. I think she's a godsend to the veterinary profession, and we must do it right by the profession to give her all the support she needs. As they said, effective followership drives effective leadership. So if we don't follow her effectively, she can't lead us effectively. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, Femi. And we're always there to serve the veterinary profession, because, as I always say, we owe the veterinary profession everything we have. The veterinary profession was here before us all, and is going to be here after we've all gone. So it's only right by us to do right by the veterinary profession. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim Shehu Ado, for those very nice comments. Madam President, you want to quickly respond to that, although he has acknowledged that I'm first. Thank you so much.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, Ado. Thank you.
All right, so IT support, can we bring up the screen? Let's do one final thing and we are done. So for us in Farmalert, one of the key things we try to do before I hand over to Dr. Nancy to do the last poll, to take the poll, I want Madam President to, within another 2 minutes, to just introduce our latest products in Farmalert. We've noticed that sometimes DO chicks get to farmers in a manner that will ruin their business. So one of the key things we've just done is to open an online shop to connect directly farmers to hatcheries. Ladies and gentlemen, IT support, can you just bring up the slide quickly? So, Madam President, this is Farmaler's latest innovation, launching the farmalert.shop, connecting farmers directly to hatcheries. We hope to help farmers with this innovative product to reduce the cost of DOC, but more importantly, to also reduce the cost of the direct cost of malpractice that go on with people changing birds in cartons and destroying the farms of unsuspecting farmers. So we want to have the privilege of you helping us to name the name and then also open it directly for the public to use. Go ahead, Madam President.
Femi, this is a very rare opportunity. Honestly, I am so proud of what you're doing. I have been following, you're very fast when it comes to this ICT thing, but I think you have done marvelously well. I tried to go on the Farmalert shop, and I saw that you can buy eggs, you can buy day-old chicks, you can buy other farm produce. This is not just for the veterinarians. You can also book an appointment online with a vet.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, you can book online appointment with a vet in different fields, wildlife vet. But I don't know whether you put my name there so that I can also add wildlife vet. If it is fish veterinarian, small animal veterinarian, you can have an online consultation, which is fantastic. You can also book for face-to-face consultation and so on and so forth. I think it's an amazing software. Is it a software I call it now? Because we keep arguing whether it is digitization or digitalization. So I don't want to call any name, but honestly, it's a fantastic app, and I am sure it's not just going to be for the veterinarians. For the farmers themselves, they will be able to sell their products online and so on and so forth. And it's amazing. So with this, I want to say that I would want to formally launch this Farmalert shop for the benefit of the entire humanity, especially for veterinarians and farmers. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Madam President. So to all Farmalert's team, Madam President has launched the shop. Let's do good to the society. Thank you so much, Madam President.
I hope you can deliver eggs in Jos also.
And so we are mapping the environment. I will let people know, but we intend to deliver nationwide. So we're connecting farmers directly to people who want to buy in bulk across Nigeria. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you. Congratulations, Femi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so Dr. Nancy, over to you to run the last poll. We need to be sure that people listen to Madam President and then also to do the closing formalities. Dr. Nancy, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam President, for that very beautiful. I mean, it was more than beautiful to listen to you, and I am excited to have you on this program. I am motivated to do more. Thank you very much, ma'am. And to all our appreciate your inputs today. I mean, today has been wonderful. At least for all the junior vets out there, we picked more than one quality a leadership process. And amongst all the qualities, I think I actually picked the part of not being distracted more. We need to be focused, and we need to understand that it is a step-by-step process. Processes cannot be jumped if we would achieve what we want to achieve. So please do understand that part clearly and watch how we do even better than the leaders we are looking at today. So once again, I say very big thank you all. And just on a lighter note, Dr. Femi Kadi, I think I'm going to be sharing AIG with you too.
You see?
And Femi, Femi, let me recognize Nuruddin and Zuzu are on this call as well.
Oh, that's nice.
So with that, I think we have come to the end of the session. And before we close the session for today, we would have our post quiz and still have what the ideas would look like this time around after the very beautiful session with AIG Aishatu Abubakar. Thank you, and the poll will be open in 1 second, please. Thank you very much. And please do engage so we'll have a comparison for you think now.
Thank you.
So IT support, can you bring up the poll quickly? No, the post quiz. The post, not the pre. All right. So we have the post quiz launched.
So please do engage the post quiz so that we'll have your ideas noted now. Thank you. And I hope we'll have a higher percentage this time around. Because the session was very beautiful, and I know we all jotted 1 or 2 things, so we should have a higher percentage answering the questions this time. So we'll be taking notes. Please do answer. Okay. Yes, we have about 4% of the participants, about 7% now. 8, 10. It's beautiful, please, we can do better. 12, 14, 15, 16, 17%, that is good. 22%, 23%. We have about 27%, 29, 32%. Oh wow. 33% now. That's 4%. That's 6% of the participants. Please keep the answers coming in. 41%. 44%. 45%. We have about 62% of the participants. Please keep the answers coming. We still have up to 52 seconds. 67%. %. That is good. So we'll be closing the poll in the next 6 seconds. Thank you all for joining, and we really appreciate it. So we have about 72% now. Thank you very much. The poll will be closed now.
All right, Dr. Nancy, let me just take the answer quickly of the polls. We're sharing result. The first question is, everyone has the potential to be a great leader. And 98%, Dr. Nancy said true. And we agree with that. The answer is true. Without the question 2, without positional power, leaders cannot translate intent into action. Unfortunately, the answer is false, but 37% got the answer. So you really don't need position to be a leader. despite we know that positions is very important, but without positional power, leaders can also still translate intent into action. So followers, number 3, followers follow leaders even when they know the leaders is misguided. So these are very dicey questions, but the followers who know exactly what they are doing will not follow leaders who are misguided. So our answer is false. We have 62% get the question. For number 4, followers who share a leader's goal, values, and who feel intrinsically rewarded for performing a job well might be more likely to work extra hours on a time-critical project than those whose motivation is solely monetary. Madam President has stressed that, and then one of our commentators also stressed the fact that it's learning before earning. 96% got that. For these, one of our slides made mention of the title that the Assistant Inspector General of Police won, NPOM. It's not National Policy Order of Merit, it's National Productivity Order of Merit Award, which is one of the awards that the President of the Council got being awarded to her by the President. Sadly, just 19% of us got the question, but now that we know we will achieve better. With that IT support, I want to end the post quiz, and then so that we can go into other announcements, then we're off.
Thank you very much for joining in on the poll quiz today. We are really grateful to you all for making it an interactive session, and we look forward to seeing you in our next sessions. So we'd love you to drop the topics you think we should discuss on this platform in the chat box, and our team member would have it extracted, and we will look into it to see when it will be important to discuss it next. Thank you very much. We'll be glad to have you in our next sessions. Please, so you can follow us on our social media handles by simply typing Farmalert on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Or you can also look at the screen and you will see our website, and you can simply click on any of the websites on any of the social media handles. Thank you very much for joining, and we are happy to have you once again. Thank you very much.
All right, so I think with this, we've come to the close of today's ECHO session. We want to thank Madam President, Madam Capacity. I think I prefer the Madam Capacity part of it for showing us how and why to be a good leader. We want to thank you so much, Madam Capacity.
Thank you.
And to also acknowledge the fact that I've decided to share 20% of with every other person, but still retaining the 80% majority. Thank you so much for coming around. And then to also thank every stakeholder, major stakeholders who has also been part of this meeting. Our next session is coming up in another 2 weeks, and we hope to always keep you informed. Thank you, everyone. Go to farmalert.shop if you know you have customers who want to be linked directly to the hatchery.